walking towards home, say you work hard and you were in a decent neighborhood and someone stopped you and told you, hey, you don't look like you're from here, and pointed you to a detour neighborhood. Take a moment and sense what feelings or images this brings up for you. Is it a sense that you don't belong? And if you took that detour and found some familiar faces, maybe coworkers, friends, and you hang out with them the whole day, and then after that whole day, they ask you, so where are you headed now? Today in this episode, we'll talk about the struggle of Filipino Americans to be in both places, that neighborhood that you didn't belong to, and that detour neighborhood with all the familiar stuff, but still it feels like you're not cut for. So, where do I head now? You might ask. Are Filipinos truly bilingual? We use the same language at home but speak and love languages foreign to each other, together but separated. Kamusta? I'm Rowan, licensed psychotherapist mom, immigrant twice, first generation Pinoy raising my mixed Filipino American children in America. I found that after visiting 500 Filipino homes, I continue to be a student of the culture. In this podcast, we would be seatmates in this beautiful cultural classroom. And by the way, did I tell you I need my kaping barako straight from Batangas before each class? If you're interested in learning the deep intricacies of the Filipino culture, especially as it merged with American culture, talks about trauma-informed care, and deepening your Filipino relationships across generations, which includes my fave topic, Pinoy love languages, you're in the right place. Before we begin, I want to let you know that you can submit a question to this Filipino therapist by leaving a voicemail or writing me at info@calamancyjuice.com. Don't worry, all the info is in the show notes. And if I pick your question, it's possible I can create an episode around it. Okay ba? I think I shared the story that at least I mentioned it in my intro that I'm an immigrant twice. If you haven't heard this story or have heard of it, please bear with me. I was 11 years old when I first set foot in America, and similar to many Filipino American families, sometimes we come in chunks. So that was our story. It was mainly me and my younger sister. We would come first, we're the first part, and then slowly all my other siblings would come next. So my mom literally just dropped us off to a relative's home. Of course, she set things up and make sure we have all that we needed, but it was my first time in America, and she spent 2 weeks and then that was it. So the second time I came back, something happened where I had to return back to the islands, and I spent many, many more years there. And then I was already 23 when I came back the second time. So my second immigration journey. The first time I stayed here for a couple of years. And so I was 23, and then I was, interestingly, the first generation Filipino immigrant. First time, I was the 1.5 kid that was trying to assimilate in the American culture, switching my tight jeans to the baggy jeans and trying to lose my accent so that kids would not make fun of me. And what's interesting is that even many years that has lapsed, the same issues I noticed still plague us today. This intergenerational gap between Filipino immigrants and their children. Interestingly, I have this hybrid of experience. I was once the child, and then I was now also the Filipino immigrant. My mom never really immigrated in America. So I noticed the same issue that Filipino parents, or so they complain about feeling forgotten, even using the word disrespected. The children are not living up to the opportunities that they have set up. And the children feeling like they're not good enough, like they're burdened by this gift of privilege and this never ending utang na loob or debt, and feeling like Why do we have to pay such a steep price for something we didn't ask for? And many Filipino Americans really want to honor their parents. That's my experience. But there's a lot of misunderstanding that happens, right? And so, and the Filipino, there's so many difference also in American culture. Also, we want to honor our parents and we're in between. Do we honor them and do as they please? While in the American culture is to do what you want. It's the right for self determination. So I want you to picture this. Okay, we're in high school. The recess bell rings and you hop on out of your chair looking forward to just messing with your high school friends who were all looking down to check on their Facebook and Instagram likes and posts. You all head to your gymnasium cafeteria, spotting a table. Everyone except you. Everyone was excited to unwrap their lunch sandwiches. For hungry teenagers, anything that smells all right is gourmet. So you slowly take out your baon, hoping no one will see that instead of the splendid sandwich that everyone has, you have rice instead. Now you almost got away from the visual attention, but the scent of your adobo was the giveaway. Everyone starts peering into your exposed Tupperware asking, "What's that?" And your friends, they were not trying to be mean. They were just really curious. But for you, this makes you feel different, but not in a good way. And for every time someone asks you a question that makes you feel like you're from outer space, the harder you feel you must work on being just like anyone else, if not cooler. And you ask yourself, why can I just have the peanut butter sandwich for baon, the PB sandwich, like other normal kids do? So you were convinced that night, that evening, that you will brave out your protest to your mom with a picket sign. Imagine a picket sign. No more rice for baon. We hear this a lot in social media. Be yourself, stay unique. All these are wonderful once we're established individuals, right? But for children or even teens, nothing is more painful than being different. Different means I don't belong. Something's wrong with me. I'm not enough. Coming up next, I'll continue the story of you picketing to your mom about no more rice for baon. Stick around, dyan ka lang. I want to know what topics interest you about Filipino relationship, immigration, mental health, at iba pa. Send me a message at info@calamansijuice.com with the subject title podcast topic. And as always, the email will be in the show notes. I'll see you there. So continuing on, the silent picket. So imagine you have this sign, no more rice for baon. So at dinner, you made an extra effort to laugh at your parents' jokes, answer their usual question of, "So what did you do today?" with a bit more gusto, even lavishing it with sprinkles of details to their fancy. On most days, you act annoyed, responding school, of course, because they made it sound like you didn't do anything. The question was meant to question you and not really to ask you a question. But tonight was different. You've built the confidence to express yourself. So, as you were helping your parents clean up the kitchen, your mom, usually laments about her coworkers at the post office, how so and so didn't do their job, leaving her to do theirs. And then she went on to talk about the lazy supervisor and how he sits all day. Now you're noticing your mom getting more upset. Well, dad adds fire to her fury, which is his best expression of being supportive, and you were about to open your mouth and do your spill when mom started to grab the infamous Tupperware. Yes, quickly filled it with rice while she voices out her struggle and frustrations with work. You closed your mouth and swallowed a big gulp I just did. The night is young, but your hope of ever expressing yourself is getting old. But alas, you woke up with a clever idea. You said, aha, if I get up early enough, I can make my own PB sandwich, sneak it in my backpack, while still taking my rice paon to school. What a brilliant idea. You won't make mom feel bad, and it'll make you look like a legit American kid. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So at home, you eat rice with mom's cooking like you haven't been fed for days. I mean, you love rice. This is a fact. Your preference for PB sandwich at school had nothing to do with your love affair with rice or your loyalty to mom and her Pinay heritage. Again, as always, there is a corresponding blog post to this episode and also the link for the free webinar, Speak the Pinoy Love Language, is all in the show notes. It's been great lending me your ear. Maraming salamat. If you have any questions, info at calamansijuice.com. And if this podcast speaks to you, and we want to reach out more people because as you're listening, we're all learning about each other's love languages and the deep intricacies of the Filipino culture. Leave a stellar review and I would so appreciate. Again, this is Rowan. Sa uulitin, ingat!